Hey, what's up, family? Welcome back to God's Development Plan. It's your girl, Lolita, here at the Daughter of David Art Studio. And you guys, I'm very excited because today I am going to be doing what I said I was going to do before. And what is that? Share my birth story. You guys, I'm gonna chit chat a little bit and give you a very swift synopsis, and then I'm gonna just go straight into the photos and the videos from my birth that were so skillfully captured by my awesome doula Joanna from Sisterhood Healing Birth Services. Amazing anointed and appointed doula, you guys, but I'm gonna brag on her in just a little bit because she was everything, okay, during my process of labor and delivery and pregnancy, you guys, okay, as a first time mom. So, anyhow, as I said, I'm gonna make it swift. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I had another video that I recorded that was about an hour long. It was very in depth, you guys. I was editing it. It's like somehow it just got all chopped up. I mean, literally, it's like I don't even know what happened to it while I was editing it. It just went. Sorry for the ambulance in the background, you guys. I am at my office, so it's by one of the main roads. Anyhow, I was like, okay, I spent like literally days editing that. And I'm like, okay, Lord, perhaps this is not the way that you want it to be glorified. Maybe this isn't how you want it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come back at it again and share my birth story. I'm not going to neglect to do it because it is giving God the glory. And I'm just going to make it swift. I'm going to keep it simple. Amen. I'm going to just make it plain. Okay. I said maybe the other one was too drawn out. Anyhow, so let's get started. I'm going to jump right into it, you guys. As you know, I think I mentioned it on my channel before. My original plan, my birth plan was to do a birth center birth in the water, medication free. I wanted to really have a peaceful environment and just be soaking in the water, which I heard helps with, to prevent tearing and such. And anyway, that was my plan all along. I did all of my prenatal visits at the birth center with the midwives. And you guys, long story short, literally days, maybe 3 to 5 days before my due date, the birth center dropped me. They said that I had risked out of their care. They felt that it was best for me to give birth at a hospital. There's a lot of backstory behind that, but I'm not even going to go into it honestly, because at the end of the day, it ain't about them. It's about God and giving Him the glory. And it's like, honestly, the way that my birth ended up happening, it was so much better. I think I had sought out the birth center in fear, looking for a safe haven. And in the end, I ended up going to a hospital where I had to be a walk in. I didn't know any OBGYN because I saw the midwives at the birth center for all of my prenatal care. I had no relationship with the OBGYN. However, when I had to be a walk in the day after Thanksgiving, I literally just had to go into labor and walk in. You guys, it God is good. But let me backtrack a little bit. So, how did it all start? Really, I did not want to go into labor on Thanksgiving Day. I was dreadfully not wanting to do that because my great aunt Gloria had invited me for Thanksgiving dinner, and I wanted to spend my Thanksgiving with her because she's the only um paternal great aunt that I have left of my grandmother's sisters. She's the baby girl. And I just really wanted to be with her. And she and my Uncle Bill are excellent cooks. So I knew everything they cooked was going to be delicious. They could have cooked the curtains and you would have ate it, baby. Okay? They could have cooked the carpet and you would have ate it, baby. Okay? Because they know how to cook. They can cook it all. They're the people who you can hate a certain food item, and if they cook it, I bet you'll ask for it every day. So, anyway, you guys, God blessed me. I got to spend time and eat with my Aunt Gloria, and me and my husband cleared our plates, you guys. And funny enough, I felt my baby lowering himself. And I said to my husband, I guess my time is going to come soon. Feels like the baby is lowering itself, getting lower. But as a first time mom who's never experienced labor, who's never experienced contractions, I did not realize I actually, was having contractions on Thanksgiving Day, you guys. I didn't even realize that until the next day, the day after Thanksgiving, at 6 o'clock in the morning when I got up trying to do some Bible study, to be honest. It was probably about 5 in the morning. And eventually I kept feeling this lowering sensation in my pelvis. And eventually it got to the point to where I stood up. I literally stood up like this, like whoo, at the table, because I was like, okay, I don't think this is like Braxton Hicks. I don't think this is the baby just lowering himself. I think these are contractions. Let me call my doula. And boom, you guys, that's when, like I said, that was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when I called my doula from Sisterhood Healing Birth Services, Joanna, and she spoke with me. She told me to go ahead and get going with my contraction app. She had me to download a contraction app on my phone, and I put it on my tablet as well. She taught me about that when we were doing our birthing classes one on one, you guys, where she gave me like a lot of education, on what to expect and even how my behavior may change in the labor process, you guys. And so I did as she told me, and then I ended up calling her back, and she was like, okay, she listened to the times, and she says, I'm going to go ahead and make my way over to your house. I think it's time for me to come over. So she did. And you guys, I have to really sing her praises. When God sends someone to support you in your time of need, do not neglect to say what a good job they've done when they've done well. Because guys, just consider my birth center literally dropped me days before my birth. That is actually horrifying if you think about it. You've prepared to have your baby in a certain place, a certain way, months and months of preparation, and at the last minute they go, oh, we can't do you, sorry, bye. What? It should be illegal, honestly. That kind of sent me into a panic because I was like, oh my gosh, had you guys, it sounded like they knew they were going to do that. And it's like, you could have told me this weeks ago, where I could have built a little relationship with the OBGYN. But now you've told me at the last minute I have no choice but to be a walk-in somewhere, like just coming in off the street. And so, you guys, where the blessing came in with Joanna, she helped me to recalibrate. She helped me to realign my focus as my doula. She helped me to have a plan A, B, and C already formulated, such that when I had to pivot and go to the hospital, she actually went to the hospital ahead of me on the day that I gave birth and let the people know, hey, I have a mom. She's going to be a walk in. She's coming in, so on and so forth. Let them know that I did have a birth plan. She was like standing guard for me, you guys. And that support that you need to help back you up. And I have to be honest, had Joanna not been there and I got dumped off in that way, it probably just would have resulted in panic, which wouldn't have been good for me or the baby. But because God had her there as a support, I was really able to calm down and say, okay, it's a change of plans. This is how it's going to go. Okay. And you guys, by the grace of God, let me tell you something. I feel like I learned a lesson about putting your trust in man, because sometimes we put our trust in man without even realizing it. So I'm just sharing my testimony because I feel like what God showed me was like, hey, trust me. It's not about being at this location giving birth, being in the water giving birth. It's about being with me, your father, because as your heavenly father, I'm the one who's going to protect you, watch over you, give you favor, make sure that you're safe. You guys, when I tell you, I was a person who was afraid of a hospital and ever being in the hospital, and the people at the hospital were so kind to me, so warm to me. I was honestly treated better there than I was at the birth center. I'm gonna be so honest. The anesthesiologist said to me, Lolita, I am so glad you're here. And she said her name is Dr. Lopez. I'm never going to forget her name, okay? She said it with such a warmth that every time I think about it, it almost like it has brought me to tears, honestly, at sometimes. because I had felt so neglected and so cast aside. And for me to just walk in and be rolled in out of nowhere to give birth at the drop of a dime, and for her to warmly say to me, "I'm so glad you're here." You don't know what that did for my spirit, you guys. So my OBGYN was Dr. Ortiz, and she suggested a C-section because after she had the ultrasonographer come in, because the fact that they didn't know me and they had to have all my medical information sent over from the birth center, they had to do an ultrasound on the spot. And you guys, mind you, I was in full-blown labor. At that point, I was 10 centimeters dilated, you guys, and I'm answering 101 questions of background questions about my health, right? And they found out my baby was going to be a big baby, and she was just like, "If you were my daughter, my sister," she's like, "No." She was like, "We don't want you to like rip and all these things. We need to do a C-section." And so they, I went ahead and consented to that, even though that wasn't my initial plan. But the reason I did, and that's that God had prepared me the night before. He had given me a vision. um and it basically, it confirmed like, "Hey, this is what's going to happen, but you're going to be fine." So long story short, so I was like, okay, he prepared my heart so that I wouldn't be fearful of it. So I had the C-section. Thank God it went well. I healed very well. They put a device on me that kept like suctioning the incision area so that there would be no moisture for infection to happen. And it didn't, by God's grace. So I give God the glory, you guys. I don't take it for granted, you guys, because we can't be arrogant and just assume we can go lay down, have a procedure, have surgery, and that everything's going to be fine. We need God's covering so that the right doctors are there, the right nurses are there, the right medication is on hand, the place is cleaned, everything matters, and we cannot take it for granted. I have to testify and say God is good. He had people in place for me and my baby, and I am so grateful. Nurse Bianca, so kind, literally in the operating room, because I couldn't hardly be still for them to put the needle in my back, because I was literally having contraction after contraction because I was 10 centimeters dilated. There was no break in between. It was just wave after wave of contractions. And she's holding me and she's singing, "When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no." You know that song? My bestie always sings it, whose name is Bianca too, funny enough. And you guys, she's singing that in my ear, and I just knew the Lord was with me. And I was so grateful. And I want to give a big shout out to HCA Northwest Hospital, you guys, because they were so kind to me. And my prayer is that every mother, whether they walked in or not, no matter what they look like, no matter creed, color, economic status, that they will be treated with that kind of love and compassion that I was on that day, especially being someone who had not planned to have to be there. So that was all by God's grace, and I want to give him the glory. I healed well, no infections, everything was good. One thing I will say, I did take the nurse's advice though and get up every day. I was in the hospital from Friday to Monday, and I got up twice a day and walked around the maternity ward in a little circle so that I wouldn't be stiff and tight after surgery. They told me to move, so I did. And I noticed I was the only one moving. I didn't see other people walking. But I know that probably came too from God already had me walking doing my cardio. So it was easier for me to commit to getting up, even though I felt, a little sore and a little swollen, to get up and do it anyway. So that was something that helped. But I just wanted to share that was my birth story, you guys. God has done the miracle. And I'm going to put up this photo and video montage, and I'm going to do my best to walk you guys through the photos and the videos. And I hope you enjoy it. This is Baby Z. Welcome to the world. So grateful for my husband, my best friend, my baby's godmother, my doula, Joanna from Sisterhood Healing Birth Services. And you guys, I'm going to put her information here because remember, even if you're not pregnant or if you're a man, you can sponsor a doula. to someone in need, because look how my situation turned out. Just seriously, I planned to do one thing and something completely different came and like took me completely by surprise. And by the grace of God, I had a doula. I had Joanna, who's not just a doula, she is called by God to birth work, okay? And she does excellent because she is not just naturally good, she is supernaturally good at what she does. She excels at what she does. So I'm going to put her information here because you can help someone who's pregnant, someone who's expecting. It doesn't have to be you yourself, and sponsor them a doula because they need that support, especially because, like, look at my situation as well. My husband travels for work. So I really counted on Joanna, helping me and kind of like guiding me through certain things. Whereas, when you're, because my spouse was traveling for work. So it made a difference for me, you guys, and I'm forever grateful. And shouts out to you, Joanna. You'll never know how much I love you for it. And yeah, I just want to give God the glory as well. First and foremost, I want to glorify God because he kept me healthy. He got me through a successful surgery and blessed me with a beautiful, healthy baby boy, my husband and myself. So this is the manifestation of what he has done. And I felt obligated to come back. I really did. I felt obligated to come back and share my birth story because you guys heard my testimony. Um, 13 years of marriage, 14 years together, and complete barrenness, no babies the whole entire time. Not, oh, we were pregnant and we lost a few, nothing, zero, zilch, nada. Okay, so we were not gonna ever have children if God did not give us children. It had to be the hand of God, you know. And if you haven't watched that testimony, go ahead and watch it. It's called 14 Years of Different Kind of Weight right here on God's Development Plan. So because this is the result of that testimony, I had to come back and say, hey, this is what God did for me. And the reason I want to share the birth story is so that you can see the fullness of the testimony. Not just, hey, I'm pregnant by the grace of God. No, I wanted you to see the full circle testimony. That's what I'm trying to say. I wanted you to see it come full circle. So from testimony of pregnancy to now labor and delivery and the presentation of this little one that God has blessed us with, you guys. Okay, so that's why I'm coming back to share so you can see the whole thing. And this is what God has done. And I want other people who have the long wait to be encouraged. If you've been waiting for something a long time, it could be a job, it could be an education. It could be reconnection with your family. It could be provision, marriage, children, freedom from addiction, whatever it is that you're battling against, whatever you're struggling with. And it seems like it's been forever and it seems like it's just never going to happen for you. I want to say the devil is a liar. And what God promises, he keeps his promises. That is the whole purpose of me sharing this, nothing else. Understand that. The purpose is so you can know God keeps his promises and that he may be glorified. Okay. Love you guys so much. Enjoy the photos and videos. I'm going to try to talk you through it so you know what you're looking at. And don't forget to comment, you guys. I love when you guys interact with me in the comments. Like, okay, that's hitting the thumbs up. It counts. Hit the like. Share this video with someone else. Share that testimony, 14 years of different kind of weight, with someone else because it may encourage them as well, you guys. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to God's Development Plan. It's your girl, Lolita. Thanks for watching. Let's get into the photos and videos. All right, you guys, let's go. Okay, you guys, here you see me laboring at home. This is why I was basically 10 centimeters dilated by the time I got to the hospital. Here I'm walking out the door to go to the hospital. It was rough. You guys, you see how slow I'm moving? My body language changed. I stopped speaking. I was just doing hand motions at that point, you guys. There's Bestie who's excited for me. Okay, and you guys, this is me at the hospital. At this point, I believe they were actually wheeling me back in to a room from having the C-section. I believe that's what's actually happening on this video right here, and I'm talking to my family. Gonna try to talk you guys through each little photo and each little video snapshot. This is when they first placed baby boy to my cheek. It was a beautiful moment, you guys. That's dad right there holding him.
Oh,
this is baby boy being wheeled into the room. He's so cute. It was hilarious, you guys, because he sneezed and my mom got scared and jumped back. It was so funny. This is my grandfather holding baby boy. So he's looking at his great grandpa. Thank God for that. This is grandma. This is my mom, you guys, holding her first grandchild from me. And this is my beautiful doula, Joanna. She was holding the baby and he clearly loved her because he was just comfortable. This is my godmother, Kay. Listen to her cancer survival testimony, you guys. It's on my channel. This is my husband catching some Z's in my hospital room. You guys, bless his heart. He was so tired, you guys. He was exhausted. Okay, this is Bestie and this is hubby, my husband, just holding the baby while the nurse checks the baby out. He is in awe because this is his first baby too, just like it's my first baby. Neither of us had kids before. Again, this is just grandma. Again, this is just grandma and hubby. This is me breastfeeding baby for the first time.
Be hungry.
Oh my God, it's so air.
I feel them feet. They got your feet all balled up and this boy heavy. Put him down. Mommy come soon. Give you something, a little something.
Oh, there it go. There go the lip.
Oh my goodness.
This is my stepdad, my grandfather, and my husband. My stepdad and grandfather are giving my husband congrats. That's my grandpa coming over to my hospital bed to check on me, you guys. Loving his blue beret. You ain't gonna tell me my granddaddy not styling, y'all. That's Johnny J. Harton, baby. You ain't gonna tell me he not styling and profiling. Okay, that's my husband coming over to check me out. I'm holding the baby too. I'm breastfeeding him. He's under the covers there. You guys, I had done got so fat, y'all. Look how big I was on there. I had got so fat. Oh my goodness, y'all don't judge me. Do not judge me, okay? I was doing the best I can, fighting for my life, okay? But I was so hungry all the time. And now we know why. A 10-pound baby. That's the nurse checking the baby out again. This is baby boy. Welcome to the world, baby Z. Welcome to God's kingdom. Thanks for watching, guys.